Okay, so this is the 2024 first year player draft. The O's have the 26th pick. And one thing about this draft pool is that all of the players are really old. If you just want to look at all the batters here, you see how many are, you got a few 24-year-olds, and then over half the draft pool of hitters here is 23. You can see over here at the bar, I'm well over halfway down, and then we're still 23, still 23. Like, goodness gracious. And then 22 maybe in the bottom 20%. And then a few 18, 19-year-olds. Pitchers, I think it's pretty similar. Yeah, 24, 23. Yeah. So, and I did look into this, and what it is there was, with the first release of the game, there was an issue before one of the patches that came out in May with this age thing. And it was addressed in the patch, but it didn't fix draft classes that were already created. They're often created a few years in advance. And I could have fixed it, but I didn't catch it in time until here on. And then I didn't check in on like the Out of the Park forums and all that until the day of the draft. And apparently it's too late by the time you're at the day of the draft. So I could have fixed it if I had caught it a day. If I looked into it more a day sooner, I saw it and was going to do something with it and then never did. But I'll be able to fix it for next year's draft class, and I think that's the last one that's effective. So, it's just as if like there was no draft for a year or two, and these guys are a little older. So maybe what'll be, in the real Major League draft over the next couple of years. But so anyways, that's what's going on. Everybody's a little older. They're about 2 years older than they should be on average. So here we go. So I have, again, the 26th pick. So, when I've picked in the top 10 a few times, I kind of had a game plan of like a top 5 or 10 guys wanted to fall. I don't have any game plan here. I'm just going to see what happens. What falls me. The mock draft says Ben Bergeron, an 18-year-old high schooler. So he's actually somebody who's the right age. There are a few guys who are. So he looks like a decent outfielder. Fielding wise, the bat a lot more question mark, and then kind of the guys around him. Jake Holland, who's a 23-year-old college player. As you can see, not a ton of talent here around me. I'm gonna have to develop these guys, huh? So, anyways, I will watch the first few picks and see who goes. See if Tamar Johnson goes first, shortstop to the Tigers. Let's continue the draft here. An auto draft for Detroit. First overall, they will take. They went pitcher. Dylan Lesko, a 20-year-old high school senior, played 5 years of high school ball, and he looks like a stud, a potential stud, anyways. I'm assuming he was projected probably to go second overall. Oh no, third overall. So they go third overall. They go pitcher. San Francisco takes Tamar Johnson. Tamar Johnson is a 19-year-old high school senior who really pretty well developed for a high school player, I guess, because he turns 20 in a week is probably why. But his floor isn't all that low, and he's got a pretty high ceiling. He's an elite defender. I mean, he could defend in the majors right now. He could probably be in the majors within a couple of years. Okay, so let's see. And then, so the top 3 in the mock draft did go, just not in the same order. This catcher went. So his catcher, his arm's really good, but his ability is not. But this guy could probably play corner outfield and first base if he doesn't work out as a catcher. Yeah, I don't know that I would put that much stock in that guy. Just because his value just takes such a hit when he becomes if he can't turn into a catcher. So here we go. I've got it on all players here, all players there. I'm just going to auto draft into the next pick by Baltimore. So Sam Hendy went right before. Oh, I like that guy. I like how high his floor is, or how high his ceiling is. His floor is actually really low. For this late in the draft. So the Phillies got him. Where was he supposed to go? He was supposed to go 21st, so he fell. So let's see what my scouting director recommends. Sam Bangura, a center fielder. This was not the guy projected to go to me, right? No. Bangura, was projected to go 19th. So here we are. Let's take a look at him. He is a 19-year-old junior college freshman. Okay. Good signability. I mean, compared to the last guy that got taken, obviously don't like him as much. That ceiling with the bat is at best an average major league hitter. Very good range. Let's see, OSA doesn't think that much differently. Very good range. He could be a center fielder for sure. And he's got really high work ethic, which is always good in development. Let's see what else he can do in the infield. He's not really going to be able to play in the infield very well with that turn double play and error rating. He's got first and third base already developed. He might be able to play third base, but other than that, he's going to be center field and outfielder. So I don't love that bat. Let's see. And I kind of go through this because sometimes people ask me about how I make decisions on drafts. So I try to use like the first 5 rounds to kind of walk through that, think aloud, etc. Let's see if he'll recommend anybody else. No. Okay. So if I were to ask for a pitcher, he would recommend Miles Jansen, an English fella, a college junior after 5 years in college, in California. He looks decent. I don't like that he's a fly ball pitcher and only tops out at 90. He's already got 4 pitches that are usable. His stuff is already major league ready. His control is decent, movement. This guy would probably progress really fast through the system. Now the OSA thinks much higher of him. His competition level was poor. Let's see. My scout thinks he might be able to be a mid-rotation guy. I don't pay a ton of attention to this narrative thing, but they are actually more helpful in Out of the Park 21 than previous ones. So Miles Jansen, definitely a high floor there. I kind of like that. I like him better than the center fielder. I don't love that he's 23, halfway to 24. But he could probably start an A-ball and see how he does. So let's see if we ask for an outfielder an infielder who's recommended. First baseman, Jerry Schneider. Really? This is who he thinks is the best infielder remaining? I wonder if there's things screwed up with the draft class beyond just the age, but the position too. I hadn't noticed that yet, if it is. So all infielders, let's go sort by potential. Schneider isn't even up here. So Tanner Carlson. Yeah, not a lot going on there. Again, once you get towards the end of the first round, late in the first round like this, not necessarily going to get a game changer. And he recommended a center fielder to us, so let's see if we try left field, who he says. Chris Newell. Nothing really going on there. And right field, this guy. Oh, it's College Park guy, local kid. So yeah, not a lot going on there either. What if we just say reliever? Is it a guy that could be turned into a starter? No, because he's only got 2 pitches, which is something you want to be careful about. Because he looks pretty good, but he's a reliever unless he develops a 3rd pitch, which just doesn't happen often enough. And then I like to see if I ask about just shortstops. It's always good to stock up on shortstops. If that's the best shortstop around, well, this isn't going to be a very productive draft. No, that's not the only thing. But Samek is the guy that he recommended. He's all the way down here on the potential ratings. I already looked at him. What about this guy? Yeah, so I think that starting pitcher is going to be who I take. Again, I don't love it because of the age thing, but whatever. That's my fault for not catching that bug sooner and fixing it before this draft. But let's check out a couple of these other pitchers he's got up here too. Here's an 18-year-old. Good work ethic, low greed. That's awesome. But a much lower floor than Jansen, of course, because Jansen's 23. Here's another 23-year-old. Here's an 18-year-old. Yeah, I think Miles Jansen, picking near the end of the first round, getting a guy with this high of a floor is really nice. And, maybe he his movement and control don't come along enough, or and only throws 90. He's a righty and a fly ball pitcher. I really don't like, but we don't know much about his personality class, so hopefully he's not a slacker. But at the 26th pick or whatever it is, I think this is a great guy to grab. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Miles Jansen. His bonus demand is $900,000 over the slot, but he's very easy to sign, so I think I'll be able to get him closer to 3.5. So we will draft him. Cool. And we will auto pick. Let's see who goes right after us. Oh yeah, Bangura. That was the guy that my scout recommended, I believe, right? The center fielder. I don't love that. I don't love that guy. And is Jansen anywhere in the mock draft here? Like how? I wish I could Control F, search his name because I might be staring right at it. Yeah, I'm not. Oh, there he is. He was projected to go 4th in the 2nd round. So just a little earlier than he was projected, but same range. All right, so let's auto draft until next pick by Baltimore. The Phillies just picked Travis Werner, a college third baseman. And let's see who we... Ben Berggren. Isn't this the guy who I was supposed to take in the 1st round in the mock draft? Yeah. I think that actually happened last year, too. I ended up getting the 2nd round who I was predicted taking the 1st round, or maybe it was who my scout was recommending. So he wants $650,000. I mean, I don't mind this guy, to be honest. I mean, his arm isn't great, but his range is outstanding. So he could probably play center field, I think. Generally range is much more important than error there, certainly in real life. And he's below slot, which is awesome. Well, here it says he wants recommended slot, but so I might be able to get him for below slot. Let's see if I ask for a pitcher who he recommends. Colton Bowman. Again, this is another guy who has a high floor because he's older, so he's developed, but the ceiling isn't very high. I like that he's a ground ball pitcher, but I think I'm going to go with the other guy over him, and let's just look at all infielders. Excuse me. Didn't bring my water up with me, which, as I've said in other episodes, can be a problem with my allergies this time of year. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and go with Ben Berggren, who I don't mind. So the OSA thinks way lower of his gap power and power than my scout, but that's really the least important thing for him to be able to develop. This eye and avoid Ks is nice. The contact, he's maybe an average major league hitter if he develops all the way, but really what we're banking on here is his bat being adequate and his fielding carrying him, because his work ethic is really high. I love that. And he could probably play some infield too here. Not shortstop. I don't, doesn't have that, but I think he could play some second base for sure. He can play second base and first base and all 3 outfield positions. So, and most valuable obviously as a center fielder. But versatility always helps. So I'm going to draft him. Let's auto draft until the next pick. Who the Phillies just take? This guy, Jose Gonzalez, another college player. Phillies are all over the 23-year-old college player. Scouting director recommendation. Oh, I love the bonus demand here. Only 190 of this guy. I recommended slot is 640. Damon Fountain. He's older. He's 23, which, again, I'll stop harping on that because it's just the nature of this draft. Very good outfielder. He can play Major League outfield now. Definitely needs some time to develop that bat, if it even develops. That is a very questionable bat, but, we're in the 3rd round. That happens. Well, OSA thinks much higher than my scout of him. So my scout thinks he could be a bench-type player. This is the most likely outcome for him. But honestly, with that glove, that's fine. He can't play any infield. So he's going to be able to play all 3 outfield positions really well, though. So and he's below slot, so that'll help me bring in my 1st-round pick. So I'm going to draft Damon Fountain. All right. So the Phillies in the 4th round took this guy, Tyler Locklear. And let's see who my guy recommends. Nick James, a college starting pitcher. Extreme fly ball. Extreme fly ball. His stuff is questionable at best. OSA thinks a bit higher. And again, you can't really be too picky here in the 4th round, but you know, this guy, Jonathan Blackwell, really not any better. So I do wonder if there's like ace relievers out there who have fallen through. Doesn't really look like it. If I were to ask about a reliever, he would recommend David Horn. He doesn't look terrible, actually, and could develop into a starter, maybe. Actually, I like him better than some of the other guys he suggested. Yeah, that's the top reliever. So what about if we want a hitter? So we're recommend Jerry Schneider, who he keeps recommending, and I don't like. I mean, that guy doesn't look like he could cut it as a 23-year-old in rookie ball. So what if I asked about a shortstop, sir? Tanner Carlson. It's been out there for a little bit. I really like his glove. His glove is awesome, and he's a leader. Got low work ethic, though. Never a good thing. He's 23. I don't hate that pick. I wouldn't hate that. Let's see what he says as like a catcher. Ryan Dial. Okay. I want a really good defensive catcher from drafting Lucas Torres here. Oh, a lot of versatility with the glove there, maybe. Let's see. Oh, yeah. That guy's going to be able to play all over. Everywhere but catcher, probably. Bonus demand is $500,000. What's the slot value here? $450. Okay, so that's reasonable. I mean, I don't dislike this guy all that much. So isn't expected to be more than a complimentary player, but yeah, I don't know. Are any of these guys going to be more than complimentary players? No one pick in between. Jaden Newt, don't know that. And who was the overall guy again? Nick James, the starting pitcher. Yeah, I'm going to go with this guy, actually, over that other guy who's all glove. One of the last guys I picked was all glove. So I'm going to pick Nick James. Let's do it. His bonus demand is $100,000 over the slot. That's fine. We can work with that. Till next pick by Baltimore. Jerry Schneider really wants me to draft Jerry Schneider. Is that third baseman still there? Oh, nice, he is. Lucas Torres. I'm going to take him. His bonus demand is well over slot. $140,000 over. I think I can manage that too. All right. And so that was what? So that was the 5th round. So this is the 6th. Dude, I'm not going to take Jerry Schneider. Will you stop recommending him to me? I wish another team would take him. Here's a left-handed college pitcher, 23. I'd like to find a younger pitcher, but everybody worth taking is like 23. Here's a 20-year-old, but it's not very signable. So we're by age here. Are there any there's not a lot in terms of younger arms. Will Smith, but he's just a reliever, much like the Will Smith in my bullpen. Jaden Newt is still out there. So yeah, I think Jake Bennett makes sense here. I don't really think much of him, but he's got some decent pitches, even if his stuff and movement and all that suck. I'll do a couple more rounds here. Tony Estevez, a 22-year-old college pitcher. Oh, I like his stuff, and he's got 3 good pitches. He's 22 with high work ethic. We could get that movement up a little bit. Right now he's apparently maxed it out, but if he can move that up a little bit, that might not be a terrible pick. Yeah, let's take him. And see, in this draft, I think there's less to analyze because the age and stuff is just so screwy. Miles Austin, a college third baseman, 23 years old. Good arm, good double play, good air, not great range. He could definitely play third base decently, I think. And he could play corner outfield too. Yeah, I think he could play corner outfield and probably first, third, and second. He's got some pitching ability too. You can see he's got 3 good pitches. But his stuff, control, actually might be a better pitching prospect. But I do like how good his defense is. That might be the deciding factor to keep him a hitter. But if he bottoms out, I could always, I kind of like that guy. Let's just see what we have in terms of pitchers too here being suggested to us. This guy, all these fly ball pitchers driving me crazy. Make sure there's not like a really good shortstop out there. DeAndre Smith. No. Center field. Lucas Boyers. Again, 23. Okay, I'm going to draft Miles Austin. Sounds good to me. Vincent Bianchi, who is another college pitcher, another frickin' fly ball pitcher. I'm on relievers. Let's go to all pitchers and see what we're working with here. So why not Jonathan Blackwell? Didn't he suggest him to me earlier? Yeah, I kind of like this guy. He has a decent floor with where he's at. I definitely like him better than Bianchi. How about this guy? Yeah, let's go with some of these guys are gonna have to play in rookie ball out of necessity to like stock that roster. Some 23-year-olds. All right. Oh, we're back on Jerry Schneider. No, thank you. Suggesting this guy, Williford. I'm on shortstops. Oh, this guy can play all over, huh? No, I'm getting a lot of all glove, no bat guys here. Which honestly with this draft isn't a terrible idea. At least they'll be useful in the minors, helping pitching out if nothing else. I might take that guy. Let's see what's available out in center field. Luke Boyers, we've already looked at him. He seems solid. I might end up taking him if he stays there. Ryan Ward at third base. I actually don't mind this guy. I feel like if he grew a little bit, his ceiling here on everything is just below average. So if he grew a little bit into that, and OSA thinks even higher of him. Yeah, if Ward ups his game, he'll vie for a roster spot. Yeah, this would be... And he can play outfield and infield. And he's only 20. And he hasn't shown a ton of improvement in potential over the time he's been scouted, but I'm going to take him. I'm going to take Ryan Ward. I like that all across the board he was kind of solid. So if he can develop some and develop one of those tools to above average, I kind of like that. So the Phillies just took this guy, Caden Kaiser, who looks absolutely terrible. And he's recommending Williford to me again. Williford. What about this guy? How's he look? Here's an 18-year-old pitcher. Looks like he might be. So I'm going to take him. I'm just going to take an 18-year-old just to get a younger player that has more time to grow because there are so many old players in this draft. I'm just going to take him for the fun of it. All right, so this is round 12. This is the last one I'll do. Kind of got carried away here. Went on longer than I was gonna. Sam Link is a shortstop. No, thank you. Pitcher. Williford. Matt reliever center fielder. Luke Boyer is still out there, so I'll go with the guy. There's the one that I'm really dying for here. I'll go with Williford, draft player. All right, I'll have another update on the team probably around the All-Star break. I did my last update in late May. Now we're in early June, so I'll be back, in like a month of Out of the Park time.